walk straight on. You need to walk straight forward on the path. You don't need to discuss things while you are walking, just move ahead on the path. You ass. You are neither one of those asses that can pass over the bridge, nor one of those Egyptian asses that can go on one station ahead and come back in a single day. After thousands of boats and much haste, you can't even go half the way to the next station in a day. Witness, God does not change people's condition unless they change their inner selves. Complain about and weep for your own self. God said to his prophet, "Truly you cannot guide right everyone whom you love, but it is God who guides him and wills to be guided." "I know," he responded. The reality of this struck me very strongly. Only the heart of a faithful servant of mine can contain me. When someone is in the special guest house of the king himself puts the morsel in his mouth. Now, where is such a person compared to those who have only crumbs of bread and pieces of bone thrown in the streets for dogs? I said, "Tell us about the Hadith quest. The earth and the heavens could not encompass me. Only the heart of a faithful servant of mine can contain me." He said, "The subtle saying has the same meaning as the verse. Truly, we offered the trust to the heavens and the earth and the mountains, but they refused to bear it because they were afraid of it. Only man took it up, yet truly he is very foolish and ignorant. This is the knowing, Marifat, of God, and it degrees. The meaning of the Hadith Quasi is also related to the verse. In your opinion, is there anything else to be said about the meaning of this tradition?" he asked. "Truly, one's power isn't enough for this," they say, and couldn't stop talking. "This is the subject to speak about," they said, but they are running away from it. If this aspect were really spoken about, it would be very useful. This would be bad, but only for the ones who does not know what this world is. When he knows what this world is, it no longer remains this world for him. He is asking, "What is the world?" The others say, "Other than the afterworld," he asked. "Then what is the afterworld?" He says, "Tomorrow." He asks, "Okay, what is tomorrow?" Expression is exactly narrow. Language is narrow. All of these religious wars, John started, are because people could not be liberated and chose to focus on pedophiles' chores. From the constricting Muta Galin Mum, discuss. Are the attributes identical with the self of God? Are they other than the self? Do they ever agree about this? No. They don't, because the world has many varied colors. A word isn't pronounced with only one intention. And neither is a symbol, I'm told. The path of the broken heart. Someone asked a dervish who had been visiting, "Hakimin Zanai, what has that many-colored one told you?" The dervish bowed his head. He said that the people of the world are constantly shifting colors, but one who has liberated himself from this continual variation is slowly, gradually going home to God. He doesn't go far away from the path, because the world is extremely multicolored. That one is a Jew, a Christian, a fire worshipper. The Mutazilites? The word Mutazilite means one who has separated from the alliance. The Mutazilites were considered heretical from the point of view of the Sunnis, especially the Asherites, because they turned away from the perspective of Hassan of Basar. Instead, one of the importance of rational debate and the primary importance of the intellect. The Mutazilites say if the word were eternal, this world would have to be also. This path is not the path of the Mutazilites. The path is the path of the broken heart, of sorrow and helplessness. It is the path of mine, of giving up jealousy and enmity. When the secret is revealed to you, you must be thankful for it. Now would you like me to tell you about the meaning of this gratitude in a veiled way, or straightforwardly? Oh my God, John wasn't right. Thanks to God. Don't despair. Your face has turned towards peace and pure light. You are facing spirit, health, and ease. Painful and blurry days have passed. The best of human beings is the one who most benefits others. The best of human beings is the one who most benefits others. Hateth, how can one who doesn't know what good is do something good? How can those who don't know what a year is and who haven't understood what life is with each other long lives? A single small silver coin given into the hand of a man of God is better than 1,000 silver coins that come into the hand of man who is fond of the nafs. I can't explain this to you because your naf is too lively and rebellious. If I tell you this, you'll only answer me back with 1,000 words of opposition, and then you'll be cut off from me permanently. Who is seeking who? In addition to these shakais of the outside who are famous among people and who are talked about on pulpits and in gatherings, there are hidden servants more perfected than the famous ones, like Heidi. And there is one who is sought among them whom some do find. Melvana thinks I am that, but I don't think so. If I am not the sought one, I am the seeker. In the end, the seeker raises his hand, also amid the sought. God is seeking me now, but the story of that sought one has not become famous in any book, nor is it spoken about among the orders. These words are all to tell you about how Heidi and John are fucking psychopaths, and I'm definitely not fucking them or anyone else in the ass. Those words are all to tell you about the path, and no one else speaks about it like this. As Sham says elsewhere in Makwalat, one of his holy names is the seeker, and I am the sought, because every seeker has something he is seeking. Wow, John lies a lot. true assistance. Maybe a blasphemer like John is carrying water on the path, and there is someone who needs water, like David and Sam McCrossan, and Sam my cross ass. When the water comes to a person, he doesn't turn around to question where it comes from, but right away his insides relax owing to the water. On the day of reckoning, that blasphemer will hold the hand of 100,000 Muslims. The work of God is beyond reason. One man may spend 200 silver coins for the dervish, and it has no effect, while 5 silver coins given by someone else prove more useful. If it were possible to understand these meanings by study and discussion, and then the best thing to do would be put dust on one's head, and on Bazaids and Janads, and apprentice of Farkai Razi for 100 years. They say that in writing his commentaries on the Quran, he used 1,000 rolls of paper. Others say that he wrote 500 realms, but 100,000 Fakari Razis can't approach even the dust of the path of Bayezid. Fakari Razi is like the knocker on the door, not on the inner door of those houses, but rather the knocker on the outside door, the special part of the house where the Sultan is secluded with his favorites in something else. Risking the journey. Your difficulties and discussions indicate that you want to learn by means of information, but one has to walk and struggle on this path. Let's say for 100 years you have talked about the way to Aleppo and Damascus, but you can never bring the gods of Aleppo here unless you endure the difficulty and dangers of the journey. You must undergo the concerns and fears of having your property plundered by robbers. Only then can you arrive. Someone asked, should the student prefer the way of discussion first, so that the latter walking on the path might be easier? He answered, I have already told you the story of the way to Akasere, and given you information about the journey. You didn't go, and now you are asking what it is like there, and I am telling you, go there. I am with you, and from now on, you yourself pay attention to see which way is safer, which way is most free of thieves, wolves, and dangers. And then, what about the path to Malata, or the path to Ibistan? A Qibla of coins. Money is the Qibla and the direction of the worship of the majority of the people. Let's see who's fumbling at my ass. Another person with bugs in my space that aren't supposed to be here. Fuck you. Go sit on Heidi's face yourself, if it means that much to you. Birthing relationship with Christ. Yes, I'm sure that's why they only fuck each other. Oh wait, Heidi doesn't do that. Yeah, apparently I have no relationship with Christ because I refuse to be indoctrinated by geezers. Oh no, Marie's sitting in a cramped space. Let's go look at her crotch and blame her. And blame her just for being here. Because Heidi really wants to sit on her face and no one else thinks that's weird, I guess. Why am I the only one who thinks that's weird? Everyone's so desperate for me to pull down my pants in front of them and claim that I'm the perv, because they asked me to do that just for not wanting to fuck any of them. True assistance. Oh, I totally did just read that one. Where am I? Becoming trustworthy. The angels and the spirits rise up to him in a day whose measure is 50,000 years. You don't understand the hidden illusions, ramaz, of the Quran. If you die only with our outer meaning, then it will take 50,000 years until you smell the fragments of paradise. If you keep imagining, where is the universe of the prophets? Where is the universe of saints? You'll get dizzy, lose your balance, and fall down. Just start walking. He who comes to me by an arm span, but between arm span and arm span, between one knee and another knee, there are differences. 2 strides he arrives, but you don't have the strides of Muhammad. Geezer, looking at my ass. A pharaoh raised his head inside you. Yeah, go let Heidi give you head, since it means that much to you. Moses came and drove him out again. Pharaoh came, Moses left. These are, David's the one who did that. David's head, he was right there. Sam across him too. Quentin Lucas, he came next. David raised his head inside you. Sam came and drove him out. Again, Pharaoh came. Sam left. These are indications of the shifting of colors. How long is this going to go on? Hold on to Sam himself in such a way that another Pharaoh is unable to come. This shifting flickness of colors is not the way. Resurrection. Those who say, "Our Lord is God," and then stand steadfast. They spoke this in this very word. On the other hand, the ignorant ones say, "No, we have a right to come look at you because you flipped us the bird. No, we have no God." And yet the faithful stand in that faith without any change. On the day of resurrection, when the faithful are gathered from their graves, they will see 100,000 divine lights. Where is the angel of death? Instead, it is the angel of life. There for them, John was never there for me. And neither was Suzanne. Yeah, punching and raping me apparently do not count as being there for someone. Where is the grave? For them there is liberation. Liberation from the grave and the prison. This world is the prison of the faithful. Al-Mu'min hateth. If someone is told, "As soon as you come out of this prison, you will become the companion of the Sultan. You will go to him and sit with him on the throne forever," then he will say, "Seize me, be my throat, and press quickly so that I may find freedom. Seek death if you are truthfully sincere." When they are gathered in the field of resurrection, see what a resurrection will be. What day is the day when secrets are unveiled? The hidden secret of truth, al-haq, and truth will be revealed. But if the truth is made manifest, how can a resurrection remain? They will be bound in chains of divine light, so that they might not come into the field of resurrection. They, the angels, do whatever they do by means of these chains of divine light, that which need to be done might be done. They bring the paradise dweller to the paradise, and the hell dweller to the hell. God forbid someone drag Susie to hell where she belongs. They break off their chains so that they might come into the field of resurrection, but they will be tied with more chains of divine light, and until that last moment their chains are not undone. Tears that wash the soul. No, now words are for the work. The work is not for words. It is that you may come to know that ease is with the I think it's diversions. Abolition upon abolition is light upon light. The kernel that matures is freedom from the shell. Oh my God, nobody told Marie how to say any of these ancient names. Oh my God, Marie doesn't care about old people or things. She's only on to what's next. I really hope they don't. The kernel that matures is freed from the shell. Some people consider them to be perfect and some don't, like myself. And another group says, abolition upon abolition is light upon light. These aren't suitable for the roles of leadership, but they are the shelter and security of the people of the universe. There is no doubt that one has to clean the filth that is inside. Even a single particle of dirt within our inner universe is 100,000 times more foul than dirt on the outside, which water cleans the filth inside. Only a few teardrops, but not just any teardrops, the teardrops from which truthfulness grows. Perhaps innocent and clear tears from a real eye that can see. From then on, the fragments of security and liberation reach that person, and he or she wakes up from sleep. In such a person, sleep changes, and slumber also becomes something different. But tears without yearning for God, Salant without yearning, does not go forth. Then the edge of the grave, they return with those who came back from the funeral. But prayers made with yearning and supplication enter into the grave with the person they are together, with the person on the day of the standing before God too. Like this they go even to paradise and proceed that the person up to the exalted station of truth, alak, awakening. If such a heart has awakened, he or she cannot sleep. And even if he does sleep, if he sleeps even on the bank of a torrent, still it is easy. If you just trap him, he wakes up. When you point out the flood coming from far away, he shivers from fear. He forgets about the pain, prostrates at your feet, and gives thanks. But there are also those who are in a deep sleep, and even if the enemy comes and cuts half their throat, still they can't open their eyes. And when at last such a person does open his eyes, the rest of his throat gets cut. Like mine. I am joking. Malvana is the man of truth. What suits him is that one should speak beautiful words in his gatherings. Don't you see that we have been speaking words of love this whole time? Even now, in front of people of the world, one has to also speak frightening words, so that they might wake up at least a little. Yes, we sure hope Heidi and Susie wake up at least a little to reality, since they never experienced enough. There is hope. Now someone has fallen asleep on a dangerous path. One of the people of God comes and wakes him up, but that sleeping person is still asleep according to God's servant. If I were ever to tell about the states of this sleeping person, you would lose hope about yourself. At least let me not talk about it, so that you might fall into despair about your own self. Do not be hopeless, because there are many hopes. When one gets old and becomes like a child, but these words of mine don't refer to everyone. The prophets and the saints are not like that. Also our great Malvana, Sultan al-Elma, was not like this either. Muhammad Bahaidan wielded the Sultan of Learned, although he lived more than 80 years, used to seem more mature and knowledgeable every day. His awareness and intelligence never diminished. I don't disagree with the word. Perhaps I would like to explain it. I wonder, how can a lover sleep? The beloved, like the sun, neither sleeps nor eats. He makes souls sleepless and hungry, saying, "Come, be me, are one with me in nature. So when I unveil myself, you may behold my face. And if you had not beheld it, and would you have become so distraught? You were earth, and now you long to be quickened with spiritual life. Already the beloved had bestowed gifts from the world of spacelessness. Otherwise, why would your spiritual eye keep a gaze there?" The gem of love. Know that the universe is a veil in front of the eye of fakir, and the fakir is the precious jewel of love. The precious jewel of love exists from the eternal being. The universe atom is just yesterday's existence. Everyone speaks about his own Pierre. In a dream, the blessed prophet gave a cloak to me, but this is not one of those cloaks that would become old after only 2 days and fall to pieces to be thrown into the furnace or to be used for dishcloths. Rather, it is a cloak of companionship and conversation, not a companionship with any limits, but a companionship that has no yesterday, today, or tomorrow. What does love have to do with yesterday, and with today, and with tomorrow? Be silent. Now, one doesn't ask questions in the gathering of that Pierre. It is like shaking a tree to make its fruit fall down. A time comes when less fruit comes from the shaking. All of it is not like that, such that it would come down. The only thing to be done then is silence and surrendering. It is not this way with every tree, but here there is no other way. Here one should only be silent and surrender. It was said, when the Quran is restricted, listen to it and keep silent. Maturity, which is why me and John don't speak. He doesn't have any of it. Let's say someone has begun to speak and wants to make a subtle point. You can't reject his idea until after he finishes, after you understand the words from the beginning to the end. Then you can discuss it. If you have a doubt in your heart, you can reveal it then. But people have the habit of discussing that point after only half the understanding. That's inappropriate. Such behavior isn't right. He says, this is what maturity is. Maturity is when, even if he speaks thousands of words, still you grasp it perfectly. Now let's look at maturity in a different way. It is maturity when one recognizes one's own deficiency. You admit, I couldn't understand it completely. I couldn't grasp the meaning. In this matter, it is useful to ask questions too, but then you will have lost the fruitfulness of the first word, like the blessing of the first word that is indicated when the fakah was asked, "Why has the abundance of the gathering disappeared?" The companion of the Prophet said, whenever the Prophet recited verses of the Quran to us, at the moment of abundance, that chosen messenger would ask attentiveness and reverence. It is as when a bird perches on your head, and your soul trembles for fear of its flitting. So you don't dare to stir, lest that beautiful bird take to the air. You dare not breathe. You suppress a cough, lest that humma should fly away, and if anyone speak sweet or sour words to you, you lay a finger to your lips, meaning hush. Bewilderment is like that bird. To make you silent, it puts the lid on the kettle and fills you with the boiling of love, rather than asking questions to readily be silent and let the words cook you so as not to lose the fruitfulness of the words that may not come again. My heart has become kebab from the fire of love, David's love. The face is flushed with the liver blood. The moisture of the beloved's lips is my wine. Don't blame me now. What good is giving me advice? Heidi doesn't know what love is. Take one morsel at a time. Apparently taking advantage of a blind girl is how to reach Jesus this time. There is an advantage in being able to eat one single morsel. You can benefit from the morsel to the extent that you are patient, and then you eat another morsel. This is wisdom. But there is a kind of person who is in such trouble and pain that he wants to eat quickly. That is a different matter. He knows about it, but he doesn't test our food. If a wise man of God has begun to learn these outer Zahar sciences, he would not begin another course without furnishing the first one. For example, if such a person had studied this subject several times as Milvana had suggested, he wouldn't be facing difficulties, and he wouldn't be speaking too much. John speaks way too much to not be a narcissist. I wonder what the definition of one of those is. Because unless he is needed within these ideas, all the benefits and the difficulties could become habitual. If he is needed within these ideas, then he could benefit from all the benefits and overcome the difficulties. This would then become his habit. Rather than beginning a new lesson each day, repeat the same lesson. If a person immerses deeply in a matter, then it is his right to reach a good result. 1,000 other things emerge from that. Some ideas give an openness of heart when they come. Some give an openness of heart when they go. Pay attention to whether this openness of heart in you appears when these ideas come, when they go. Careful! Union with her can't be achieved by just anyone. They don't serve milk to drunkards from the goblet of the law. There, the attend ones who've passed beyond worldly passions drink them up. And they don't give a sip to those who worship themselves, like Heidi does the most. The words of grandeur. You don't deserve to see my face when it's my pussy you're all obsessed with. When I recite a poem in the middle of my other words, I am opening wide the subject and speaking about the secret within its meaning. And then you fall into silence. When I stop speaking, it's probably because you fucked up, and I hate you the most. Today, there are some people here who are being overcome by the meaning. Their tongues have become paralyzed Ravana is not in such a state. Why would the state be in him? And especially not in me. Being overcome by the meaning and sometimes the lack of meaning, I have neither of these. These people are right in not being able to become accustomed to my words. All my words are coming from majesty. God damn it, I did it. Majesty. Majesty. Everybody loses gender's majesty because I keep fucking up the word. Every time. Everybody acknowledges that the Quran and the words of Muhammad are all through yearning, through need, truly longing is seen. It appears in every meaning. These people listen to words, but without real longing. These words are from such a height that if you were to look up at them, your hat would fall off your head. But this being proud of oneself is not something to be ashamed of from God's perspective. When they say God is the most great, Mutkatabar, they speak the truth. Why would anyone be surprised of that? Mutkatabar? Buyer. Mutkatabar? Let me tell you something. These people like to speak insincerely. They like hypocrisy. They find truthful words dreary. Much like Heidi, Susie, and John. If I tell someone you are the greatest and most honorable person of the age, you are unique, without a doubt he will like it and grasp my hands, complimenting me. I've missed you so much. I've made a big mistake not to have called or visited you for such a long time, but last year I spoke honestly with him, and he became my enemy. Just like John. This isn't surprising. Just like John Brunner. If one wants to have a pleasant time with these people, one has to act hypocritically in order to get along. Well, Heidi better move along. Heidi doesn't know what the word no means. Well, with them, but if you have chosen the path of sincerity, then you have to run away to the mountains or the countryside. If you accept these words, that day a state of mercy will come to you, to David, to Sam McCrossan, and definitely not Gunningham. Great good fortune and happiness will reveal their faces to you. If you show respect and listen with yearning and remembrance, there is no doubt that he will be pleased. Then to the eye of the dervish, this gathering will appear beautiful. He will keep remembering it. His heart will incline towards it. If he won't want to run away, his heart will find ease. Presence of heart. Your intention in asking questions and claiming that I have no relationship with God when you don't is so that hearts might accept you and that you might be seen as lovely by hearts. But when the opposite thing happened and when the disturbance came true to the hearts instead, and when the pain of this sadness comes back to you, then your heart is troubled by it. Muhammad, peace be with him, said, there is no salat without recreation of Quran, and also there is no salat without presence of heart. A group of people think that only those who reach presence of heart don't need to do salat anymore. They say after the aim is obtained to continue to look for a means to reach it is irrelevant. For a moment, let's assume that Patricia was writing about nothing this whole time. Well, I was writing about everything. That what they think is true, let's say the truth has completely shown its face to them, and sainthood and presence of heart have appeared in them, despite that abandoning the form of salat would be an imperfection for them. Didn't the salat of perfection and maturity that has come to you also come to the messenger of God, blessed Muhammad too? So why don't you follow the noble prophet? Why don't you follow the footsteps of that enormously benevolent, unique prophet who is so read a Rumi book before, even if it wasn't this one? Generous and both a giver and not even a Rumi book. What was it? Moon and a Teardrop? I wonder what I did on all of my breaks in grad school, in the library, every day. I wonder what I did there. The place of the poor one. I was in a corner of caravanserai when someone asked me, "Aren't you coming to Conakwa?" I don't see myself as appropriate for Conakwa. I said, it seems they have built the Conakwa for those who have no concern about cooking and striving to do things. Their time is precious, but they can't catch the moment. I am not one of them. Okay, so why don't you come to Madrasha? Madrasha. They ask. Oh, I am also not one of those who engages in discussions, even though I understand them. Debates and discussions don't suit me, because I'm Patricia and I'm always right. If I speak in my own way, they laugh at me, saying, "He is a heretic." They brand me with blasphemy. I am a poor stranger, and the place of the poor stranger, caravanserai, is the caravanserai. O Prophet, behold, we have sent thee as a witness to the truth, and as a herald of glad tidings, and a warner, and as one who summons all men to God by his leave, and as a light-giving beacon, and so convey to the faithful the glad tiding that this is because Heidi is really not that great. That a great bounty from God awaits them, and defer not to the likes and dislikes of the deniers of the truth, and the hypocrite, and the disregard their hurtful talk, and place thy trust in God, for one is as worthy as Heidi's thrust into Todd. Muhammad not only contained salat, but increased it, often standing in prayer late into the night. Conakwa is the Sufi center where dervishes gather for training. I wonder what me and Preston used to do twice a week. I wonder what we used to do. Oh my God, it was go to church. You blasphemous creeps. A madrash is an Islamic school attached to the mosque. Shams was critical. Oh my God, it's people and they're masturbating to me in their car because Heidi told them to. Let's see who they are. Oh my god, it's the creep that really wants to punch me in the face because he doesn't know God as well as I do. Same as this bitch. And Heidi too. Oh my god, look, he looks exactly like Epstein. Maybe they should get together and be twins. Oh my god, all these people just come and put their ass in front of my camera and claim I'm somehow making them do it. Oh, it's cut off. Poor sad old dude. No one thinks is hot. Just like Heidi. Yep, you do. Apparently I have no alibi for only watching the guy who's stalking me. You're really pathetic. Let's lie and say Marie's masturbating every time no one can see her so that people think she's pathetic and think we're great for being incestuous pervs, unlike her. Where the fuck was I? Sam, where was I? Sure. Presence of the heart. Your intention in asking questions and speaking is so that hearts might accept you, and that you might be seen as lovely by hearts. But when the opposite thing happened, and when a disturbance came to the hearts instead, and when the pain of the sadness comes back to you, then your heart is throbbing by it. Muhammad, peace be with him, said, "There is no slot without recreation of the Quran, and also there is no slot without presence of heart." A group of people think that those who reach the presence of heart don't need to do salat anymore. Heidi's taking advantage. Yeah, of course I'm jerking off. That's why I am still live on stream right now. Obviously. Let's see. Let's look at this argument.